Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip and Shannon, let's debate.
How you doing this morning, Joy?
I'm doing fabulous.
I mean, you festive, the flowers. I mean, okay, I get it.
Dub Nation! Could we have a warm welcome for Shannon Sharpe here, please? Thank you.
Hold on. All year long, you've been talking about go Spurs go. Now you all Dub Nation.
What did I say yesterday? If I can't beat them, I'm going to join them.
Oh.
And I couldn't beat them. I have always been a huge Steph Curry fan. And by the way, those Curry 4s he wore last night, I'm a big Jordan fan. I wear all the Jordan shoes on this show, but I'm going to get me a pair of Curry 4s. Did you see those? You should get you a pair.
If you can't beat them, join them. Okay, Skip Durant.
Yeah. I'll take that.
I can't reach across the desk.
I will take that.
Touch
Here.
cups.
Touch cups. I'm going to bump that.
I'll be pulling out my hand.
Yeah, we've got a lot of equipment on today. We're excited. Thank you for joining us. We have a star-studded lineup today. Ice Cube will be here. Jerry Rice, MC Hammer, Isiah Thomas are all here. So let's get started with last night's game. First up, the Warriors blew out the Cavs last night by 22. Kevin Durant led the way with 38 points, 8 assists, and 8 rebounds. Steph Curry added 28, including 6 three-pointers. LeBron had 28 points, but he turned the ball over 8 times. After the game, LeBron and Durant reacted to game 1. Let's take a listen.
But I'm always as good as my teammates, and Steph and Clay and Draymond and Zaza and the rest of the guys. We just complement each other, try to complement each other and make the game easier for each other. And
if there was one thing that stands out to you about them, whether it's speed or whatever, what was it for tonight?
KD.
He's just obviously he hasn't been here in the last 2 finals. I mean, what is it about him? What kind of impact does he make? How does he change things?
Well, I mean, you take one of the best teams that we had ever assembled last year, that we saw in the regular season and in the postseason, and then, in the offseason you add a high-powered offensive talent like that and a great basketball IQ like that. That's what stands out.
So, Skip, you predicted that the Warriors would win by 20.
Thank you.
I'm at 22. So how impressive was Golden State?
Yeah, I predicted by 20, and forgive me, Dub Nation, even I underestimated your Warriors who won by 23 last night. And my biggest takeaway from what happened last night was that Golden State can play much better than that on offense than they did last night. Because you guys know, what did they miss at the rim? About 10 little bunnies at the rim that should have gone in, and yet they still won by 23. Good luck, Shannon, in game 2. And Draymond and Clay, look what they combined to go 6 for 28 last night and 1 for 10 from 3, and they still won by 23. Good luck, Shannon, on that one. And Zaza, my man Zaza, who ended my Spurs season. Wait a second. Zaza turned down 3 early, easy shots, and I'm yelling at him. What are you, only good for cheap shot, my guy Kawhi? Get out of my game. Yeah. And would you believe that Golden State actually missed 5 more shots last night than Cleveland did? And would you believe that Cleveland actually made 9 more free throws last night than Golden State did? And wait a minute. LeBron still lost by 23 points last night, which brings me to my bottom line. Guess what, America? LeBron James can no longer guard Kevin Durant. That's it. Bottom line. Five years ago in the 2012 finals, LeBron's breakthrough after 9 years in the league, he finally won his first ring. He owned Kevin Durant, who then played, of course, for the Oklahoma City Baby Thunder with Baby Russell and Baby James Harden. And now, all of a sudden, we have had a changing of the guard. LeBron James looked like what you usually call my Spurs. He looked old and slow trying to guard Kevin Durant last night.
What if?
He looked old and slow. You want to talk about getting blown by? I'm thinking, LeBron, what are you doing? Are you trying to set up like another chase down block because you can't catch him? You can't catch him to the rim. And I'm thinking, wait a second. LeBron, whose defense fell all the way to 22nd in the regular season, I think it was because LeBron at age, what is he, 38 now? No, some 30. I forget what he is. 14 years in the league, his defense is declining before your very eyes. He's just not quick and strong enough to keep Kevin Durant from the rim anymore. And again, he's having to play both ends of the court because I kept reminding you what happened to Harrison Barnes in the last 3 games of the finals last year when we had the big 3 turnaround games. You know what happened. He shot 5 for 32 and 3 for 15 from 3. So LeBron could basically ignore Harrison Barnes and say, I'm going to roam, I'm going to disrupt on defense. Last night he had to play both ends, and he got played by Kevin Durant on both ends. That's what happened. And the stat of the night was that the best player on the planet, I always acknowledge and give that up to you, had the worst plus-minus on the floor of either team last night. He was a minus 22, was King James. Really? And in the second quarter alone, King James had 6 turnovers. Just in the second quarter, that almost was 7 at the end of the quarter, at the end of the half. He lost the ball, went up in the air, and JR saved him and retrieved the basketball.
No, he saved himself and threw it to JR.
Oh, okay.
You saw it.
I did not see it. So, bottom line, I'm going to give you a chance here on national TV to flip your pick. I'm going to give you a chance to change it. I seriously. I won't shame LeShannon over this. I'm going to give you a chance because, seriously, you said Cavs in 6, so that means, if my math is right, wait, so the Cavs are going to win 4 of the next 5 games? Is that correct? That's impossible from what I saw last night. So are you going to back off and change? Because you can be my guest.
Big N, big O. No, I'm not changing my pick. So let me get this right. You said all of a sudden Durant owned King James, even though his record now is 18-6 against LeBron. Is that correct?
Yeah, we saw something happening last night for the first time.
So
you saw it and I saw it.
So after one game, you're willing to base this on one game. So what actually did the Warriors accomplish last night? They held serve at home. Isn't that what the home team is supposed to do? Isn't that what you work for the entire season, is to get home court? So if there is a Game 7, guess where it's going to be played? The series doesn't start until the home team loses. All the Cavs can hope for is to get a split, one of these two. They get another chance on Sunday, Skip. You know that, I know that. Okay, but here's what I saw. I don't know what game you were watching, but I happened to be at the game. Me and Bron had to dap Bron up right quick. You know, I had to let him know I was there.
So you bad lucked him?
No. Skip, the Cavs had 20 turnovers. The Warriors had 4. The Cavs had 15 assists. The Warriors had 31. Minus 26 in point paint. You cannot give the Warriors that many extra possessions, that many cracks at you, and you're like, well, the Cavs outshot them. Yeah, they might have outshot them by 10, but how many more did they make? When you take 20 more shots and you shoot
20 more shots
and you shoot 40% from the field, even though you only make that's 16 extra points. That's if you just make 2s. Well, you know, Steph Curry got it cooking. Transition defense was awful last night. How many dunks did Kevin Durant have in the first half? 6. How many layups? 3. They let Steph Curry bring the ball up and walk into wide open threes. They can't.
Thank you for bringing up Steph. I didn't get to him in my opening soliloquy. He was pretty great last night. He was 6 threes. We got to give it up to Steph.
Yes. He was the Steph Curry that we're used to seeing in the regular season over the past 2 years, and he played very well in this regular season. But the difference in the ball game was Kevin Durant. And as you mentioned, LeBron cannot roam. But this is what I do know will happen. They will make adjustments. The Cavs will not play as bad as they did Game 1, and we'll see if the Warriors can shoot the ball as well as they did last night. Zaza going up and under the rim, not looking at the basket and flips it into. Come on, Skip, really? Zaza.
Yeah, but how about the 3 he turned down early where you could have dunked it and one, maybe all 3 of them?
No, I'm not really looking at Zaza as a dunker. I mean, he did the right thing by passing it out to Kevin Durant and let Kevin take. But Skip, you keep talking about Draymond and Clay, how bad they played. J.R. Smith, Tristan Thompson, Kyle Korver, and Darren Williams. How many points did they combine for, Skip?
I don't even really care.
Exactly. Exactly, 3. Tristan Thompson, anytime he gives us 6 to 8 points, that's a bonus. But he can't give us 0 points and only give us 4 rebounds. Skip, that's unacceptable. He needs to be in the double-digit rebound category because JaVale McGee played 5 minutes and had 5 rebounds. You know he's going to run to the rim. You know he's going to try to challenge everything at the rim, but he's going to crash the glass. And Tristan Double T has to do a better job of keeping him off the glass. I'm not concerned about this. Nothing happened that I did think the Cavs would win this ball game, especially game 1. But if they get a split, now we see what happens going back to Cleveland on Tuesday.
Okay, and that's a fair point because remember, Golden State did win both games here last year, and then we know what happened after that.
What happened?
We know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
Draymond Green got suspended. That's what happened. Turned everything around. Then Bogut got hurt and couldn't play games 6 and 7. You know, and I know that's exactly what happened.
You pinning your finals hopes on Andrew Bogut. That's what you was hoping.
Well, but guess what happened since last year's finals? LeBron lost some hair, and then he lost. Wait. Then he lost all of Harrison Barnes, right? He lost some hair and all of Harrison, and now it's a new world with Kevin Durant in place of Harrison Barnes.
Hair slows him down. He can't jump
I
as high.
got it.
But Skip,
I got it.
If you take a 73-win team and you add the second best player in the NBA, obviously they're going to be a better team. Now, I thought it would take them sometime around the All-Star game before they'll mesh together. But they started a lot sooner. And then when Kevin went out, now Steph's like, well, hold on. I'm Steph Curry. I'm the 2-time MVP. I don't have to defer to anybody. He got his confidence back, and now KD came back and blended right in. The Cavs know they have an uphill challenge, but I'm not concerned because you know why? As you mentioned, you started. You give me this. I have the best player on the planet, and anytime you got him, you got a chance.
And by the way, that best player on the planet last night was threatening to have a quadruple double because he had 8 assists and 8 turnovers. That would have been rare. That would have been a finals record, right? To have a quadruple double. Way to go.
Who has the record for the most turnovers in a finals game?
I don't know. You looked it up because
I didn't look it up. I'm just asking you a question. It's Magic Johnson. And what do they have in common, Skip? They have the ball all the time. They have to run the offense. So anytime you're a high assist guy, you're probably more than likely going to be a high turnover guy. Like your guy that averaged a triple-double. He was number 2 in assists. You know him.
And by the way, speaking of Russell Westbrook, I think it was Instagrammed last night near the start of the game.
Right.
Posted that he was watching Sister Act 2 in his little home theater. And, you know, what he should have been watching was Big Brother Act 1 in Game 1. That's what he should have been watching.
Oh, you were taking a chance? I thought Russell was your guy.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, I think so. You know what? I was just sort of, I couldn't help being happy for Kevin last night. I know he's taken a lot of heat. He's taken some heat here on Undisputed, but I told you, I couldn't condemn him for saying after, going into his 10th year, I'm just going to go. I'm going to max my chances to get a ring. And did he not back it up last night on the biggest stage? And seriously, he had a Bay Area mountain range of pressure on him last night. He had the weight of the NBA world watching him on his shoulders last night. And not only did he come through, but when he finally sat down, you had to think that he's thinking in the back of his mind, gee, I almost got a triple-double in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That counts, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think the thing is, for me, Skip, the reason why I can't condemn him is because we've added so much pressure to guys getting rings. But then when they go and chase the rings, we question the manner in which they got the ring. Is that everything is a ring now? Because how do we value players if the numbers are similar as far as rebound, assists, and points? Well, he ain't got a ring. Oh, Kevin Durant's like, well, y'all not going to say I'm the best player to ever play in the NBA and not have a ring. He joins in 73-9 team, and then everybody's like, how could you join the team that beat you? Well, if you didn't put so much pressure on a ring, because now a guy has no value if he doesn't have a ring. And Kevin Durant says, I want to have value, and he went and chased the ring. I don't have a problem with it. you just look at the situation like, wow, 73-9, and they add the second best
I
player.
got it.
That
I
would be
got
like
it.
Julio Jones going and joining the Patriots.
I know, but if that's true, that's true. But if 20 years from now Kevin Durant ends up with 3 rings, nobody will remember. They'll just say, "Oh, he had 3 rings."
Yes, right, exactly.
And by the way, I was also happy for Kevin last night because he got to rub it in on Rihanna a little bit. Did you check that out? He did. And again, Rihanna's got some nerve buying a courtside seat and rooting for King James in Steph's house. To me?
Did you hear what she said as she's walking out the tunnel?
She said the king is
He's still the king.
Blanc, blanc, you know.
Yeah. Female dog.
Yeah. Here. Have we seen this? I want to see him turn. Brick. That's nothing but net, baby. There you go. He's shaking his head at Rihanna. Yeah. I love that.
He was shooting a free throw, and she yelled brick from the court.
Yep.
And that was the first time that he looked over, and I think he noticed her. And obviously he's taking the 3 right there, and then she's right behind him. She's probably yelling something.
And by the way, I don't know if Kevin's sentiments have changed since he tweeted in 2011. He was answering a follower's question about what girl would you like to marry, and he said that girl Rihanna. I don't know if that's still in his heart now. I don't know. Right?
I mean, obviously she's in the king's corner.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's happily Savannah. You know, Savannah, my home girl from Akron. That's how we do.
That's how we. That's how you do?
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Look.
So are you telling me that you're even more confident than you were before game 1?
They're going to win game 2.
They're going to win. You told me they're going to win game 1.
Okay, I was off, Skip.
Yeah.
I told you they was going to win the finals last year. They went down 0-2. They was down 3-1. And you was over there, had your pom-poms, your blue and gold pom-pom. Dub Nation, yay, rock.
Yeah.
And what happened?
You know what my favorite moment of the game was last night? It was still a game.
Which one?
It was still a game late in the first quarter. I think the Dubs were ahead 24-22, and LeBron has one of the classic freight train dunks where he's got a full head of steam, and JaVale comes late to try to protect the rim.
No.
Yeah, did you see this? It's not
Put him in the
JaVale's
hoop.
fault.
Put him in the hoop.
And guess what LeBron does?
Stare him down.
He flexes.
Yeah.
He goes Hulk.
Woo.
That was his last moment. That may be his last moment of the finals. Really? LeBron, you're gonna pose over that?
Hold on. That's a 7-foot center.
Okay, but he's coming late to it. It's not even his guy, and LeBron's got a full head of steam. What do you think's gonna happen at the
Well, if you
rim?
show up late to the party, you got to pay extra. So you got dunked on.
Yeah.
But Skip, you know the difference in this ball game. In all seriousness, it started the first 4 minutes of the second half. You're down 8. They go on a 13-0 run. The Dubs, the Warriors do. You have 4 turnovers and 4 missed shots, and 2 of the missed shots were right at the rim. You can't do that. You can't let an 8-point game go to 21. This is not the team you want to be down 21 when KD and Steph has it going like they had it going last night. That was the difference in the ball game.
And by the way, Steph hit a dagger 3 just in the third quarter and started high kicking up the court. You know, that was it. Man.
He's front running, huh?
Yeah. Loved it. Well, he knew what had happened. That's not front running. That's just game over.
Hold on. Time out. But you all up. When LeBron does that, you're like, oh, LeBron is the biggest front runner.
Well,
you don't like front running, but all of a sudden now you love front running.
Yeah. I've told you before, Steph's got a little hot dog in him, but they're going to rub it in because they got it rubbed in their face last year in games 5, 6, and 7. You know it, and I know it. And here's what I'm going to leave you with. Kevin Durant has high basketball IQ and is a student of NBA history, and he certainly knows his own history. What happened, you'll remember this very well, in Game 2 of the 2012 finals. Again, LeBron's breakthrough finals. They got blown out in Game 1 at Oklahoma City, and then Game 2 went right to the wire, and with 10 seconds left in the game, Kevin drives the baseline on LeBron James and goes up for a little 7-foot hanger on.
And he missed it.
No, he didn't miss it. He got fouled. He got tackled by LeBron James, and they did not call it. And LeBron got the rebound, and then Oklahoma City had to foul him because it was a 2-point game. And to his credit, in a rare moment, LeBron went to the other free throw line and made both of them to ice the game.
Whoa!
That was rare. It's the only time I've ever seen him make clutch free throws in his life. Seriously.
You told me the guy doesn't want to go to the basket late in the ball game because you mentioned the
I
piece
told
that
you it's
the
a
great
rare moment.
Tom Haberstroh.
Yeah, Have a straw.
Have a straw.
Yeah.
He wrote about LeBron is taking jumpers. He doesn't want to go to the free
He
throw
runs
line.
from do or die free throws.
But did he mention that in his
Okay,
piece?
but he wasn't running for do or die. They intentionally fouled him. He couldn't help it. He got the rebound, and they just grabbed him because they had no choice. So he went down, and he made the free throws, and it changed LeBron's life because everything flipped in that series. As you know, they went back to at that point,
Won
your
3
town,
straight.
and won 3 straight games. And that was thanks to Dwayne Wade in the first game, then Mario Chalmers, and then Mike Miller in the third game. They were the co-stars.
Who was the MVP of that finals?
Who was the Dwayne? Was Dwayne the MVP? I think was
In
was
the
D-Wade?
next finals, who's the MVP? In the finals last year. You see a reoccurring theme.
Let's see. Ray Allen was the MVP in the next one, wasn't he? Yeah.
A guy hit a 3, and now he's the
Those are
MVP.
some
Well, he
good-
should have been
those
the
are some
MVP.
good times for me. I like this. I like the way this segment is ending.
Good time. Rihanna,
So-
you got it right, Rihanna.
Yeah, but Kevin Durant will not allow what happened in 2012 to happen again this time.
He was unbelievable last
Yep.
night. Game 2 is on Sunday
He
at 8
averaged 30
o'clock.
on
We'll get
50% shooting.
the
Yeah,
predictions
well.
later.
No mercy.
Our next guest is a 2-time NBA champ with the Bad Boy Pistons. He was a 12-time All-Star and Basketball Hall of Famer. From NBA TV, Isiah Thomas.
And by the way, I heard a few members of the crowd say, "Oh, it's the real Isiah." no offense to little Isiah, but this is the Hall of Fame Isiah. Yeah.
I just say I'm the old one now.
No, the original.
I'm old Isaiah now.
Well, welcome to Undisputed. What are your thoughts on Game 1 last night?
I thought it was a interesting game because I thought both teams came out and really didn't have their rhythm. And I thought, for the first half it was kind of close, and then Durant took over. And when he took over, it was kind of like, wow. You have been waiting to see this moment
Yep.
on the big stage and how he would perform on the big stage. And he wasn't shy about it at all. And the performance that he put on last night, I think it woke everybody up to just how great a basketball player he was. Because, before he got injured, he was the best player in the league. And I think last night he came out and he reestablished himself as, you talk about LeBron and you always talk about KD, a couple of years ago in terms of who was 1 and 2. And actually KD, I think he was the MVP of the league, and then he broke his foot. And, last night he looked like that guy
So
again.
the player you saw last night was better than LeBron James.
Well, wait a minute. Just in last night's game,
Has he emerged?
in a singular activity in a singular game, yeah, he was the best player on the floor last night.
Does he have a chance in these finals to prove in a bigger picture that he's better than LeBron James?
See, I look at LeBron James in a broader category. I don't look at him in terms of what he is, what he does on the basketball floor. What he does outside of the floor. I take the totality of what he's done as a champion. And when you're looking at a champion, the way I was brought up, he or she has a responsibility not only to perform inside the lines, but outside of the lines. They have a greater responsibility in terms of, uplifting the team, and also if you have an opportunity to uplift society, then they take on that responsibility. That's what the Muhammad Ali's did. That's what the Jim Browns did. That's what the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars did. So that champion, the way I was brought up, when you're the best player on the team and you're the leader of the team or the best player in the league, you have a greater responsibility to move the game, to move society forward. And that's why I look at LeBron James in that way.
LeBron has done that.
Yes.
I will give that to you for sure.
So that's my criteria.
The comparisons, it just will not go away. LeBron versus Michael.
Yeah.
How close is LeBron? Some similarities and some differences.
I look at LeBron and what he's done is mind blowing with what he's had to work with. And what I mean by what he's had to work with, LeBron James came straight from high school. Do you know who his high school coach is?
Drew Joyce.
I but I'm just asking, do you know?
No.
Do you know?
I know St. Vincent, St. Mary, but I don't know the coach.
So this is the
I
point
think
I'm
I've
trying
read
to make.
Quotes from
right?
Yeah.
He didn't go to college.
Yeah.
He's taken every rookie coach he's had to the NBA Finals. So from an educational standpoint and a knowledge base, where did this brain come from? I mean, he's the Einstein of basketball. Because when you look at myself, you look at a Jordan, you look at a Shaq, you know, we had Hall of Fame coaches. Like Michael Jordan played for Dean Smith, Hall of Fame. Then he goes and meets Phil Jackson, Hall of Fame. Doug Collins, those were his first coaches. He was around Tex Winters. I was around Chuck Daly, Coach Knight. So from an educational standpoint, the knowledge that we were given and what we were able to apply out on the field and out on the floor, that came from somewhere. I look at LeBron James and I go, where'd he get all this? Because he can look at your coach, figure out your defensive scheme. He can look at your substitution pattern. He can read the stat sheet, and then he can, you know, not only read it, but he can dissect it. Then he can come back and put together a game plan, and then he can go out and implement it. So the Tom Bradys and the Peyton Mannings, so forth and so on, they all had coaches, schools, and, you know, big institutions that they went to. LeBron James just came in from high school and said, boom, 7 straight finals. You do not go to the NBA Finals in all league at age 22 and say, I'm here with, you know, Boobie Gibson and, you know, Danielle Marshall and the coach. No offense to any of them, but you just don't do that in all
paint
league.
cans, squeegees, and a nail file. That's what he took to the finals.
But you
By
know,
the way, they got swept by the Spurs, but go ahead.
yeah, but again, that and all of us have been around sports a lot, right? And you just don't walk in from high school with no institutional knowledge and dominate a sport for the years that he's dominated. So when you talk about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, I look at from the neck up, not necessarily from the neck down, and I'm not going to judge. Again, my criteria is a little different because from a concentration standpoint and a game planning standpoint, LeBron James is head and shoulders above any of these guys.
So are you saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
I would pick LeBron James.
You would?
Yeah, if I'm trying to
Build a team.
if I'm trying to build a team, now it ain't sour grapes. Hold on, come on over here and talk about it, cause I won. Okay,
He did.
You can't be dismissive of what I did. Okay, so let's keep it real now. Now, so if you're trying to win a series, I'm going with the brain. Okay, if I got to get 40 points or 50 points, then yeah, I'm taking a Michael Jordan or a Kobe. But the greatest player to ever play this game is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And we are dismissive of Kareem because every single stat that you throw up, he's at the top. So when we talk about the greatest to ever do it, you know, Kareem is the one who's at the top of the bar.
How much did Magic have to do with Kareem's success?
Magic Johnson never won an NBA championship without Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, he did
So
not.
let's turn that question around, right?
Kareem had won one without Magic, pre-Magic, with Oscar.
So Kareem lost one game in high school.
One game in college.
Kareem lost one game in college.
88 more.
To Elvin Hayes.
And he didn't go hardship, right? He lost
No, he went
one
the
game.
whole way.
So you're
Yep.
talking about from 1971, he was in the NBA
unbelievable.
Finals.
Yep.
His last NBA Finals was against the Detroit Pistons in 1989. Okay? So when you talk about domination and dominating the sport, he did it for 2 decades. Magic Johnson, if he was sitting here with us today, he would gladly defer to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, you know, let's just keep it real, and that's
Although Kareem did stay healthy against you guys that year because Magic and Byron pulled their hamstrings, so Kareem wasn't able to win a game without Magic.
He
and
was 45.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hey, wait, and we were double teaming him. Really, I mean, when they threw the ball into Kareem, right? And I remember Lambeer and I sitting there saying, this dude is 40 years old and we double teaming him. Like, and we got to come down there like you know, try to trap him. But, you know, Kareem's dominance in the NBA, and when we're in a different era of society now, where the media is not as biased, and we do have some gender and some colorization to our media now. But when Kareem came in the 70s and what he had to face during the 70s, it's almost like we're rediscovering Kareem, because a lot of his voice had been so silenced and had been put to the back. And the narrative about Kareem was that he's not a good communicator. He's written, 13 books, got 3 movies. I think he, left UCLA with a 4.0. So it's interesting to see the emergence of Kareem right now, and I'm happy for him.
He did not treat the mostly white media very well. He wasn't very open and accessible to the media. That hurt him early on. But it's just the way it was.
Yeah, but think about those times, and think about the media coming into the locker room, right? Who was coming into the locker room? And we always have to take in, which we don't, we always have to look at their biases.
I understand.
Right?
You're right.
Their inherent biases coming in, sitting down, and Kareem is a dominant figure. And what was going on in the 70s changes his name from Lou Alcindor to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar during that period of time. I mean, come on, man. That was real stuff. That was real stuff.
Well, Skip, let me ask you this, because he was, as a college player, he was at the Black Summit that was organized.
He went as a college player. He was invited to the Jim Brown Cleveland Summit with Bill Russell.
And Dr. Harry Edwards was one of the founding members of that. And I throw this to you too, Isiah. How much do you think his sole involvement in the black and the advancement of the people of color played a role in how he was treated, fairly or unfairly, by the media? Mostly white media at that time, because he was the first pick in the draft in 1969.
No, you talking to Skip, white media?
Oh, God. Let's skip.
That's the question to Skip.
Well, I want you to chime in also, but let's skip.
I'm not old enough to answer that question. You're old enough. You should know. No, let Isiah answer. I get it.
No, but even when I came into the NBA, right, and I had a chance to go around and look and watch, and I was one of the ones who was talking about, hey, we need black officials, refereeing all games. Not only do we need black officials, but we also need, black representation in the media.
Right.
Because the way that we are perceived as athletes and as black men is only seen through the eyes of the white male. And that needs to change.
Agreed.
And when you looked at what Kareem was going through and what was happening to him, his whole narrative was a little twisted. And when you go back and you study him, I'm a big fan of his because of what he stood for and what he was trying to do. And so.
And by the way, once upon a time, you thought that Larry Bird was getting a little too much acclaim from the white media. Remember that?
No, that was me protecting Dennis Rodman, right? And that's been well documented. And when you go back and you look at, what Dennis was saying and what he tried to say, and me being a teammate, we would have done it differently. However, what race was in the NBA and how the NBA was really playing up a race. I mean, we don't like to talk about it, but the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers, right? And Skip, you was in those locker rooms.
I was.
There was a lot of racial divisiveness and a lot of racial undertones around that series being talked about and being discussed, but it wasn't in the media.
That's true.
Right? And what Rodman gave people the opportunity to do and gave the writers to do was to write about it, but use Rodman as the well, this was Dennis Rodman's quote, right? Now let me write a column about it. Let me do a TV show about it.
True.
Because I didn't say it, right? Rodman said, but this is how y'all use Dennis Rodman to basically make the point because, and I get it, nobody wants to lose their jobs. And, we have to get to a point in this country where we can talk about race relations without people getting fired, without people losing their job, so you can seriously have the conversation in the discussion about how we become a better society and how we really talk about being equal.
So, Isiah, I got to do
Go
this.
ahead.
I love you, but I love me some Michael Jordan.
That's okay.
And I feel like we haven't been fair to him. Would you agree with me the Eastern Conference was much tougher during Michael's rise and reign than it has been for LeBron over the last, say, 10 years?
So let's talk about Jordan in historical, perspective, and also put him in his dominance in the right decade. Okay, the '80s was not dominated by Michael Jordan, right? He was a participant and a great participant in the '80s, and he was finishing 4th or 5th, right? The '80s was dominated by, Kareem, Dr. J, Magic, Bird, and then we were in there, okay? The '90s, right? That was Michael Jordan's decade. So what we tend to do and what the narrative has been is that we take Michael Jordan and we stick him in the '80s. Okay, in the '80s, when the Celtics, and you were there, when the Celtics played against the Bulls, was it, he got 63 points in one game?
They were 5-20, 0-6 in the playoffs.
I'm
was just
saying.
keep that between me and you.
But of course,
yeah.
but they're calling Michael at that point Jesus and sneakers. That Bird called him that.
For that one game, Skip.
63.
Yeah, for that one game. All right?
Did they win?
No.
And wait,
No.
Isiah, but a whole book.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it real. I'm just giving you facts.
A whole book was written about the rules you guys had to devise to stop Michael Jordan, called the Jordan Rules.
We
correct?
had rules for Jordan. We had rules for Kareem. We had rules for Magic.
For Bird.
For Bird. I mean, that's called a defensive scheme, right? So we had a defensive scheme. Now, what we had to do with Jordan, and this is real, right? Jordan was that good. Well, we double teamed him every time.
Every time.
Right? But the rules played to his deficiencies, the things that he couldn't do, right? And at that time, he had a difficult time going left. So we would force him left, trap him when he was going left, put a defender on his right hand so he couldn't make the overhead pass with his right, and force him to use his left. What Michael Jordan did that you have to give him credit for is he got better, right?
He did.
And as he got better, right, the rules didn't work anymore. And even with the rules, if you go back and you look, he was still averaging 35 on us. It ain't like the rules worked, okay?
We have to have you back so Skip and you can finish this. We don't have enough time here. Thank you for joining us, Isiah.
No mercy.
Joined by NBA champ Eddie House. Eddie, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's get started and talk about game one. The Warriors blew out the Cavs last night by 22. Kevin Durant and Steph Curry combined score 66 points with 18 assists in the win. The Cavs turned the ball over 20 times in the loss. Eddie, you picked the Cavs in 7.
Yes, I did.
How much trouble are the Cavs in?
After looking at last night, I don't think any at all. They're not in trouble at all.
Yeah.
Don't be a prisoner
Not
of the
two
moment.
of you.
Don't be a prisoner of the moment. Just because that game looked like it did last night, you know how series go. Skip, you've been covering this long enough. How does it go? It's about adjustments. Every game is different. We'll see how game 2 goes. I don't think they're going to turn the basketball over that much. And I don't think Golden State's going to take care of the basketball that good. So, I'm not tripping off at all at the fact that they lost. That happens.
What did your eyes tell you? What did your gut tell you?
I'm going to tell you what my eyes told me. There's an APB out. Oakland Police Department has an APB out on J.R. Smith, Darren Williams, Kyle Korver, and Tristan Thompson. Them guys combined for 3 points. Come on, man. They looking for him. The police looking for him.
I was going to hear this. I thought I would hear it from you. LeBron doesn't have enough help.
I didn't say
He doesn't
that.
have enough help.
He needs somebody to do something.
He needs more help.
He needs his teammates to step up and do something. Period.
Well,
you can't have 4 guys
help
give
me
you
out.
3 points total.
Did Draymond step up? Did Clay step up last night?
Look at the
Did
replay.
the Warriors bench step up last night?
Yeah, they played good. The Warriors played excellent basketball last night. They moved the ball. They have 31 assists to 4 turnovers. And to be honest with you, the way they played defense, they was buzzing around. Sometimes you've seen 2 guys rotate, and then they break off and get to the guy in the corner. They made a mistake defensively because 2 guys went to the ball, but somehow they cleaned it up, man. The Warriors just look like the more energized team. Cleveland looks slow. They look lethargic, and I don't expect them to come out and look that way again. But we do need some help from Darren Smith, J.R. Williams, Kyle Corbin, Tristan. I mean, you can't have 4 guys give you 3 points.
Eddie, what did your eyes tell you?
I could have went out there and got more points than them.
Yeah.
Right now, my jumper wet.
Yeah. You said a jumper wet, and I believe it.
I'm not sure who's more delusional right now, Shannon or Eddie. So, Eddie House, what did your eyes tell you over the last 46 games of the regular season when the Cavs went 23-23 and fell all the way to 22nd in the NBA in team defense? That's pretty bad. I started calling them Cleveland with no D because there's no D in Cleveland. and I didn't see much D last night because Golden State puts up 35 in the first quarter, and then with the game still teetering a little bit at halftime, laid 33 more on them in the third quarter, and that was game over. Well, that's a lot of points to give up if you're a really good defensive team, which I kept hearing. You made the case that Cleveland just knows how to play Golden State on defense. Last night, because of the KD factor, no Harrison Barnes, added KD, they just couldn't guard him. They couldn't guard him in the half court, and they certainly couldn't guard him on any sort of break or semi-break.
Well, when you look at it, how many dunks did KD have? 6 of them?
In the first.
That's miscommunication on defense. You can see one play, Kyrie is pointing, looking like he's saying, you get him, I got ball, and he runs to where he pointed to. That's miscommunication.
I saw 2 or
J.R.
3.
Smith did the same
I
thing.
saw it. J.R.'s looking around like, what am I supposed to do? Because
Stop
clearly,
the ball. Always
okay,
stop the ball.
That's the first thing you taught.
but
First
what-
thing you
know
taught,
what
stop the
they
ball.
were taught for how many days they have? 7 days to get ready for
Yeah.
this? It was drilled into JR's head. Don't leave shooters on the break. Don't leave the wings. And so JR's looking around like, you told me not to leave the shooter. And Kevin Durant goes right down the middle and slams it, right?
Yeah, but you know what? That was all a byproduct of them turning the ball over.
Yes.
If they take care of the basketball, and I don't like the game plan they had. They kept running the same switch, and they weren't getting the switch that they wanted with Steph. Steph was hard showing and then getting back. I think you need to find a different way to try to attack him again. I said it yesterday. Run pin downs, cross screens. Do it that way so he could, tell – big man, put that knee out there, hit him in the thigh. Do something to try to slow him down. That's part of basketball.
By the way,
That's part of basketball.
But
it happened to me when I go through picks.
on the first Warriors
That happened to
possession, they stung him. Did you see that where he had
Yeah.
the double over?
You
So
got to keep
I think
that going.
was the game
I mean,
plan.
if you're trying
Didn't
to win,
work. He made 6
you ain't trying to throw elbows
Yeah.
in nobody's head, but all that's fair game. Below the waist, fair game.
This is what I know.
I'm telling you.
What I've known from playing the game, the professional sport for 14 years and covering it, the day after, when a team loses badly, it's overreaction day. And that's what Skip Bayless is doing. Because, Skip, you remember, in 2015, they lost game 1. Kyrie went down. Kevin Love wasn't playing. Can you tell the people what happened in game 2 with no Kyrie and no Kevin Love?
LeBron was great in game 2. He held the ball. He dominated the basketball the way I've never seen anybody dominate it for an entire game. He dribbled up the floor. He dribbled out the clock, and he took the last shot in every shot clock. And he managed to pull off a win. Then they go home, and they win again.
Yeah.
And then in game 4, Shannon, tell me what happened in game 4 in the King's house.
They lost.
What, they lost, or did the King lose? Because there's an APB in Cleveland still out for King James. Because I don't know where he was in game 4.
Well, Skip.
Go look it up.
You
just sweep that under the
Hold on.
carpet. You're just like the blind witnesses. They don't want.
I just need to, just for my clarification, I just need to make sure I'm hearing this correct. They lost. The Cavs lost in 6 games. I'm writing this down. LeBron James averaged 35.8, 13.9, and 8.9 assists. But he didn't show up. Which game?
Game 4, you know what I'm talking about. He went 7 for 22, and what was he from 3 in game 4, like 1 for 7 or something?
Skip, do you remember last year, LeBron James was 9 of 21 in the first game. What was he last night? 9 of 20. Now, last year, he was 23, 12, and 9. Last night, he was 28, 15, and 8. He had 7 turnovers. I get that.
What happened in the second quarter? Game's teetering, game on the line. What happened?
Skip, they still, even
6 turnovers in
he
the
had
second
6
quarter?
turnovers, and even though he had 6 turnovers, they still went down at the half by only 8 points. It was the first 4 minutes of the third quarter in which they got on a 13-0 run with 4 turnovers and 4 missed shots. Kevin Love gave us a great game, a really good game. He had 21 rebounds, 15 points. But, Skip, he was 1 for 7 inside the three-point line. He missed, and I think it was in the second quarter, he missed 3 attempts, point blank. He got blocked by Draymond. He missed it, and then he missed the tip in.
So you tell me he had a bad game, right?
He was 15.
Oh, he had a solid game.
He had a solid game.
He had a solid game.
But
15 and 21, come on.
Wait, he had 8 turnovers and he had a solid
No,
game?
we're talking about Kevin Love.
Oh,
We're talking about Kevin Love.
I thought you were talking about LeBron.
No, LeBron.
No, Kevin Love had
He
a
could
solid
clean that up.
21
8 turnovers.
rebounds.
You could clean 8 turnovers
So, in other words, you expect LeBron to play as careless with the ball and reckless with the ball as he did last night. Are you willing to say that's what he's going to do? Can we get a case of do on that?
No, I won't do that. But I got a case to do on who's going to win the finals.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we got a case of
You are shaking in your shoes over
No,
there with no
not.
socks on. Did you wear socks today?
No, I didn't wear socks. No, I didn't wear socks.
No socks?
I haven't worn socks since 2005.
You must be sweating through your shoes today, right?
Skip.
Are they showing some rings on the outside, some
No,
sweat rings?
I am fine, Skip. Look, they lost one game. They lost one game, and here you are coming in here with overreaction Friday.
No, I'm just telling you what I saw last night, and I saw devastation, man. I saw a LeBron James who cannot guard Kevin Durant. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
6 uncontested dunks. Nobody was
Guess
guarding
who
him
was
on that.
chasing him most of the time? LeBron James.
Because he turned the ball over.
Yeah,
He was leaving his feet. He's not going to have a game like that. Think of his turnovers.
So
They
you're
were all
telling me-
unforced turnovers. Nobody was forcing him into turnovers. He was
Yeah.
driving the ball, leaving his feet, trying to find guys in corners, and everybody was staying home. Great game plan by Golden State.
Yeah. Well, I got to do my best, Shannon. Let me borrow my play-by-play back here, my box score. So, Shannon Sharpe. Let me see over here in this category. Help me out. Who had the? Wait a second. Who had the worst plus-minus on the floor last night?
I'm not a plus minus.
Oh, wait, King James had a minus 22?
Minus 22.
Oh.
I don't pay attention to plus minus. This is why. Let me tell you why.
okay.
You could go
Yeah,
out
you
there,
can.
go 3 for 3, have 2 assists, a rebound, and a steal, and everybody else on your team was dump trucking like the other 4 guys, right? And you got a minus 8, but you was out there killing your guy didn't score. So I don't pay attention to the plus minus.
I know you love.
I go by what somebody does out there. The
You know
production.
what? You love to do this, Skip.
Yeah, there
you
you
said
go.
the last 46 games, Shannon Sharpe. What was the Cavaliers' record in the last 46 games?
You heard me.
In the last 13 games of the playoffs, what was the Cavs' record?
Tell them.
How did they? In other words, you got to win 4 games to win the series. So they had the first round, they had the semis, and they had the Eastern Conference Finals, and then the finals. So in their last 13 playoff games, Skip, what was the Cavs' record?
What happened in Game 3 versus the Boston Celtics?
Skip, they lost one.
What happened in that series?
I just
Where'd
asked
it go,
a question
4-1?
that you did not answer.
4-1?
They lost.
Wait, we had another disappearing act by the King. Disengaged, disappeared, Game 3.
He was
and
sick. Richard Jefferson told you he had a cold.
Are you going to buy that? Yeah,
He was sick.
His stomach was hurt?
Yeah. But what happened in game 4 and 5?
You know what? That's a good question because in Game 4,
give me a good answer.
he disappeared in the first half again. He was disengaged. He was out of sync, just like he was in the second quarter last night when he kept driving in the lane like, let me see, what am I going to do now? Oh, maybe I better throw it to the wing. And Steph's over there intercepting. And here we go the other way.
But
That's not going to happen again, man. I'm telling you, he's going to look at tape. I know this guy, very high basketball IQ. He's going to come back to see how they're guarding him. And I think T. Lue's going to make some changes, too. Well, they have to because I just don't like the switching game that they're doing. They're not taking advantage of it the right way. I'm not posting up J.R. Smith. I haven't seen in the finals. Where is he at in the finals?
What you mean the finals? The playoffs?
He be playoffs. That's what I'm saying. But every time playoffs, right? But every time in the finals, he literally disappears in the finals, though. And they need him to just give us 6.
I mean,
damn. I might go. Can I get a 10-day?
Hey, Kevin Love. I mean, think about this. Kevin Love had Klay Thompson posted and shot an air ball. You 6'10", you got 6'6" posted. You got to walk him down.
Oh, he couldn't walk him down.
He had Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall, but he weighs 133 pounds. So you got to walk him up under the rim and put it up in the basket.
Hey, to Klay Thompson's credit, he kept Kevin Love. Kevin Love tried to back him down, and he couldn't go anywhere. Straight up, no back down.
Yeah.
So I'm giving him credit for being stronger than what we think he is.
Kevin need to eat some meat. Stop eating all them beans.
He needs to catch it and go. He need to catch it and go
right
quick.
now.
He got to catch it and
But
go
that's okay,
quick.
Skip. I mean, we're gonna let Skip have his day. But we'll
Prisoner
come
of
in.
the moment.
We'll come in on Monday, and he'll have an excuse while LeBron dropped 40, 13, and 8. And
poke holes in it, huh?
Oh, it was Kyrie. Kyrie had 2 points, made the last shot. Kyrie saved it. Kyrie saved it.
Low-key, Kyrie was
Skip, he had
killing
2
last
points.
night.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Help me out. What was the record for points scored in one quarter in an NBA game? Wasn't it by that guy named Clay?
Yeah.
Didn't he score 37
37.
points?
Yeah.
37
Yes.
points in one quarter?
Yeah.
And last night, he just couldn't even find his shot. He looked tentative. He was herky-jerky. Should I shoot it? Should I not? He's in as bad a shooting slump as I've ever seen him. He'll bust out. He's going to bust out. What are you guys going to do when he busts out and scores 20 in a quarter?
It's not sure that he's going to bust out. This is the thing too. When you're a shooter, you know, I have been a shooter all my life.
have.
When you get your wide, when you in a rut like that and can't hit, you get the best looks of your career. And he's getting the best looks he could get and not knocking them down, and he's frustrated. He needs to just keep going to the basket. That's the only way for him to get out of it because his jumper is
even
short.
when he was going to the basket, they posted him up on Kyrie. They doing everything they can to try to get him a shot, and it just somebody put a lid on the basket, Skip.
But he's been working defensively all playoffs
Yes,
too.
and that has a lot to do
By
with
the
it.
way, I think when he was the primary defender last night, I think the Cavaliers were 1 for 12 shooting against him.
Oh, so you think that's going to continue?
I do.
Hey, well, pick your poison. You wanted to play D or you want the shot to be going down?
I agree, but one of these games, you both know, and I know, Clay will bust out, and then you guys are really going to be in trouble with
That's
your
what Colin
picks.
Kapernick going to do.
That's what Kyle.
I'm joking. I'm playing.
I'm ready on Kyle.
I'm playing.
That Kyle got to give it.
I ain't banking on Kyle Korver. I'm sorry.
But right before
he just got to give us about 6, though. 6 or 9.
He had a wide open look to make it a 5-point game at half. He had some great looks. It's not like he's getting bad. He's getting
Kyle
great.
Korver?
Yes, he's getting great looks.
He was taking shots from Monterey. I mean, he was just, no, I'm serious. He was taking like 40-foot three-point shots. I'd say, what are you doing? And he's not going to make them.
Those the same ones that he took in Game 5 against the Celtics that went in. The ones that he took against Toronto, he for 43. He was taking them from Ottawa, and they were going in.
Well, I tell you what, I got to see it. These lights are a little brighter.
But you got the king. You know it.
That's what I'm saying. He just got to catch and shoot.
So, Eddie House, this man predicted Cavaliers in 6.
I
so
said
that means,
7.
that I know you said 7, but this man needs the king to win 4 of the next 5 games to make his prediction come true. You got 4 out of 5 for Cleveland?
I'm sticking with my 7.
7?
Yeah, don't try to have.
What do you think of his pick? Well, what?
I don't think about his pick. I'm thinking about mine. I'm hoping mine.
But at the end of the day, Skip, whether it's 4-1, 4-2, 4-3, as long as the Cavs win.
Oh, so now you're equivocating on your pick a little. I think I just heard if it's 7, no big deal. Is that what you just said?
They're gonna win Game 2.
And
I'm gonna put a case of dew on it.
Okay. You're going to put a case on Game 2?
Yeah.
I'll take that bet right now.
Yeah, I want you to take
Thank
it.
you.
I got me one. Got him. Got him. Yeah. You actually think Bron going to lose 2 games in a row in the playoffs?
Guess what? He did last year. He did last year. He lost the first 2 games right here last year.
Make y'all feel good. Got y'all hopes up. Y'all went out and brought the emblem on their champs. And what happened?
You like those Curry 4s last night?
Hey.
They look clean. They look clean.
Clean.
A lot better than the other ones.
Yeah,
I know.
The other ones was basic.
I agree.
Did you see them?
Yeah, they look clean, though.
Had them war cleavers on out there trying to shoot threes. That's why he couldn't shoot. They're too heavy. The chef, too.
Well, you were smart to not put dew on last night's game, Shannon. You should have listened to Skip when he gave his prediction.
No,
LeBron is 1-7 in Game 1s in the finals.
So we used to this. We used to this. We know it. But, Skip, you make it seem like losing to teams that are 500. He lost to a 73-win team, a 67-win team, a 62-win team, a 67-win team. The Spurs won 58 games in 2007. So it's not like he's losing to some scrubs.
No.
But guess what? He come on back.
Game 1 not that important, though, really. If you win Game 2, you win stole one. You're just trying to split. If you win Game 2, you got home court advantage.
In
there
the
you
end,
go. You win Game 2, you got home court advantage.
I have been doing this for a long time.
I know you have.
It's how you lose Game 1. It's how it feels, how it looks, what you cannot take to Game 2. I don't see much they can take to Game 2.
So you say Cleveland can't play better than
Are you
how
going
they
to
played
switch
last
LeBron
night?
off KD? You're going to say LeBron's going to guard?
He got to take the challenge.
Huh?
He got to take the
He'll be all
challenge.
right.
He just can't turn the ball over like
That's
that.
it.
That's the bottom line. You can't have 15 assists to 20 turnovers. That's recipe for disaster.
On any level. Why do you keep doubting LeBron? The man's been at this thing for 14.
He's 3-4 in the finals. Why do I keep doubting him?
About to be
He's lost 4 finals.
About to be 4-4.
And he should be 1-6 in the finals without Draymond Green and Ray Allen's clutch shot. He'd be 1-6.
No, he shouldn't. No,
Well,
he shouldn't.
Huh?
He should be 4-4.
Tom Brady should be 1-6
Oh,
in
here
the
we
Super
go.
Bowl.
No mercy. Ice Cube is the founder of the Big 3 League, which starts in about 3 weeks. How are you feeling about the league right now?
I feel great. I think the momentum is picking up. Fans are starting to get excited. So, it's great to be at this point, to be, on the cusp of a new league. And it's going to be some great basketball. That's what I can't wait for people to see. Everybody got their kind of preconceived notions, but when they see the actual basketball, they're going to be very impressed.
So who could be the Warriors of the 3-on-3?
Oh, man.
Huh?
I mean, we got some great teams. I think, the three-head monsters they look like they can be as flashy, because they got white chocolate. You know what I mean? They got Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. You know what I'm saying?
Can he still pat the rock?
Man, he can still do it, man. He can still move. He can still shoot. So it's a great thing. And but them killer threes look strong. Trilogy look hard. I mean, we got some great squads.
Did you come up with these names?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I wanted to have something that linked towards the 3-on-3 thing.
Right.
But then, it started to get crazy. But we got some other cool names like Ghost Ballers and Ball Hogs and, so we got some cool names.
Q, you're born and raised in California, and I know you've heard about the incident when someone sprayed the N-word on LeBron's in Brentwood. What do you think about that, and what did you think about LeBron's comments about that incident?
Well, LeBron's comments were great. It was right on point. When things like this happen to celebrities, it reminds us that it can happen to any of us. And it reminds us where we are and where we need to be and where we need to go. And, it's a shame that it happened, but it's a great opportunity for us to discuss it, to shed light on it, and to try to stomp it out. Racism is the cancer that, if we don't figure a cure for, it's going to kill us all. So we really need to, thank you. We really need to, examine why people feel like they have the need to, push others down as they try to elevate themselves. So it's just, I'm not glad it happened to LeBron, but, if it happened to Joe Blow on the street, you wouldn't hear about it at this level. So it just reminds us all that no matter who we are, we can be victims of ugly racism.
So you are straight out of Compton, obviously Compton, California, which is a world away from Brentwood where this happened, but still only about 20-odd miles away.
Yeah.
Did it hit home literally for you, knowing that happened in that neighborhood? It's pretty exclusive over there, obviously. How did that impact you personally, thinking, gee, that happened there?
It didn't hit me at all. Racism can like rear its ugly head anywhere. It can rear its ugly head in Compton. It can rear its ugly head in places like the White House. So, we have to, not be so surprised.
Okay.
But, be, more galvanized to fight it out. It just has to make us stronger. It was a weak punk act. You spray paint on somebody's house in the dark where nobody could see you and run away.
Yep.
But we're going to stand strong, sniff it out, and stomp it out, hopefully.
So Shannon made a powerful point yesterday, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but he said after all his success that he's had, he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he's still black. LeBron basically made the same point. Is there anybody in sports any more successful than LeBron James on and off the court? He is still black. Ice Cube has had extraordinary success in several areas of the entertainment world, and you are still a black man living in America. Is that, do you think about that? Does that come clear to you when you read this story, hear this incident?
Every day, and the thing is not only am I black, I'm too black, too strong, which makes it a whole different animal for them to deal with. So that right there always reminds me who I am, where I am, and where I need to go and what I need to do. And, you know, it's been with me forever. You know, my father been having to deal with it longer than me. So this is just a fight that we have to fight, and we can win. We can win.
You know, Cube, I tell, you know, and I talk, you know, Skip has given me a great platform. September 6th, when we started talking about the Colin Kaepernick, and he's allowed me to talk openly and honestly, not only about race in football, but race in America. And I thank him, and he always liked to preface, you know, but Shannon, I'm just a white guy. I'm just a white man. I said, nah, Skip, you the right man.
Yes.
Because see, color, his color, and he's willing to open his eyes and his mind and say, you know what, I'm not white. I mean, I'm not black, and I haven't maybe experienced what they're going through, but let me listen to him. Let me feel his passion and pain. And I say about being black, here's the thing about black. You can't aspire to be black. You're either born or you're not, but you cannot run it. See, I can aspire to be wealthy. I can aspire to be famous. I can aspire to be more education, but I cannot escape that. So even though I'm famous, I'm wealthy, I'm well-educated, at the end of the day, what do you put on the end of that? He's black. He's a well-educated black man. He's a wealthy black man. And even LeBron, and what LeBron case showed us, is that as famous and as wealthy as he is, he couldn't escape it. What about the guy that's not LeBron, that's in rural South Georgia, or that's in California, or that's in Detroit or Chicago?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the key is to create a society where we don't want to escape it, where we're happy and we're proud, and we share what we have with the world, you know. So that's, to me, where we need to get to is, you know, not to the point where, you know, if I make a lot of money, if I do this, I can leave racism behind. But no,
it's inescapable.
Yes, and it's the thing where, you know, we shouldn't want to escape who we are. We should celebrate who we are.
Absolutely.
And the world should celebrate all of our diversity, because this is what makes the world go round. You know, if we was all the same, everybody would hate each other for a different reason. So, you know, it's up to us to accept, you know, the people that don't look the way we are, don't look the way we look, don't act the way we act, and don't live where we live. And I think we'd get closer to that. I think it's more good people in this world that want to do that than it is these, you know, idiots that spray paint on people's houses and stuff.
Shannon, I appreciate what you say, but I don't allow you to speak about race in America. I encourage you to speak about it. I welcome you speaking about it because it's powerful and it's necessary. So I appreciate you and the courage you have to take your stances. And I appreciate you because coming up, you were a proud black man and you didn't let anyone forget that. And I'm guessing it cost you some deals along the way. Is that fair to say?
Without a doubt. You know, whenever you stand up for what's right and it's controversial to some people, you know, of course it's going to cost you. But those are the, you know, I'm happy to pay that price. You know, I would, you know, if I had all the money in the world and I sold my soul for it, you know, what kind of man would I be? I'd be empty inside. So I'm happy to lose money if I can keep my manhood, I can keep my dignity, you know, and keep my self-respect. You know, who cares about that money?
I agree. Thank you.
Cube, a lot of people think the most dangerous black man in the world is the one that carries a knife or a gun, that has his pants hanging. But the most dangerous black man is the one that's educated, because that's the one they fear.
Yeah.
See, for me, I don't fear anybody I cannot think. I'm educated, I'm very thoughtful, I'm very analytical, and I'm slow to react. But I hear and I see everything that's going on. So you can't tell me something because I see better than I hear. I know what you're telling me, what you're doing, but I see what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's nothing, you know, gun, knife, whatever. It's nothing more powerful than a made-up mind, period.
Well, when something like this happens to someone like LeBron James, it opens everybody's eyes because, like you said, if it happens to somebody, Joe Blow on the street, it can happen to LeBron, it can happen to anybody. But thank you guys for talking about it. Cube, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah,
and remember to watch the Big Three League starting June 26th.
No mercy.
So, Joy, I worked with this man for a while back at ESPN, and occasionally we stayed in the same hotel in Bristol, Connecticut, and I thought I was a fitness psycho. And one morning I'm going to work early, and I drive behind the hotel, and I see this man running sprints on the incline behind the hotel. I said, this is crazy.
I can't let you outdo me.
I realize that, but you look like you should come back. Seriously, you should play.
Don't give him no idea.
Come on.
Shannon, you know, and guys, you know, if I wanted to, I could come back.
You could. I believe it.
I still have 80 catches in me.
I believe it.
Or more.
You don't want them hits, Jerry.
What are you talking about?
You don't want them hits.
Hey, you feel that right there, man? You feel that? That's solid. That's solid right there.
CrossFitting, right?
Yes, I mean,
CrossFit?
yeah, CrossFit, you know, just working out, and, you know, I like to look good. You know what I like to look good. That's the bottom line.
Well, we all try to look
Trying
good
to
up
just
there.
keep up with you guys.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your reaction to the Warriors' Game 1 blowout over the Cavs last night?
Game 1, I knew, well, this is going to be a great series. I know that. It could go to Game 7. I hate to say that, but the Warriors, they came out, they made a statement last night. They said, we here, we legit, and it's about to go down. So, you know, just watching that game last night, KD, Curry, the performance that they put up, it was just unbelievable.
So let's talk National Football League. Want to get your quick
Why you want to talk football, Skip?
Yeah, because you know some football. What I used to respect the most about you is something that just changed in today's NFL. When you scored touchdowns, you pretty much just handed the ball to the official, right? Because you were Jerry Rice. And now the new the Commissioner Goodell has liberalized the celebration rules and penalties, obviously. How do you feel about that, reopening
I'm all
that door?
for it.
Yeah?
I'm all for it, guys. Yeah, the reason why I say that is because when I tried to dance, I looked stupid on camera when I tried to dance, but you know, these other guys, other guys in their creativity, it's okay. You know, Odell Beckham, you know, if Terrell Owens, if he was still in the league right now, you know, I think it's a great opportunity.
Chad
for them
Johnson
to,
could dance.
Yeah.
Chad
could also. And, you know, I think it's a great opportunity for the players where they can express themselves.
So it doesn't offend your Hall of Fame sensibilities occasionally.
As long as it's not a distraction for the team. Now, guys, you remember when Terrell Owens, when he scored, he pulled out the Sharpie?
Yes.
You know, just stuff like that. You know, as long as it doesn't affect the team.
You thought that did distract the team a little bit?
Yeah, well, you know, then you had some guys, you know, with cellular phones. So if it's a distraction for the team, then we have a problem.
Joe stole that was my idea, Jerry.
Well, he will not give this up.
He will never let us forget it.
Actually, I scored against San Diego, and I pretended I had a phone.
You only scored once?
No, I scored 3 times. No. I had one. Hold on. Jerry, we got the same amount of rings now. You got triple the touchdowns I got. We got the same amount of rings.
Hey, but I got 1,549 receptions.
I
got 22,895 yards.
How many of these you got?
Huh?
How many of them you got?
I got 3.
Me too.
All right. Wait.
Hey, see, from Mississippi Valley State, Savannah State, obviously I was in college when he got into the league, and I wanted to be Jerry Rice. And because he came from a historically black institution, was playing in the National Football League, I was like, well, hell, why can't I? I mean, Mississippi Valley State, Savannah State, they're on the same level playing field. And if you came up in the 80s, 85, in college and high school or college in 85, you wanted to be this guy because he caught the ball, he ran with the ball, he had the towel. I had the towel coming down the side. He had his coming out the back. I had 2 coming down each side. He was.
Hey, this is getting way too intimate.
No. But and I remember when I got drafted by the Broncos in 1990. We played them in the preseason after they had beaten the Broncos, and I just remember watching him and Joe, and I'm like, I'm in the NFL, and that's Jerry Rice, and that's. Hey. And I came up to him, and I had to shake his hand.
Hey, take me back. Is that the Super Bowl 55-10?
Yeah, that was it.
I was
55-10.
I was in college.
That's okay. It's okay. It's all
Y'all
good.
beat the break. Y'all beat the brakes.
Yeah, 55-10. That brought back great memories, guys. Great memories.
So, Jerry, you mentioned Odell Beckham Jr., obviously a very gifted young receiver who I think does not quite get it yet. The sacrifices that you had to make to become what many call the greatest receiver ever, and you were certainly in your day the best receiver in pro football. And what do you see in Odell? What has been missing so far in Odell? What advice would you give to Odell?
Well, OTAs, that's something that you never want to miss because that's the opportunity where you can engage with your teammates and do all that stuff. You build in chemistry. That's the most important thing. And I have talked to Odell back and forth, and, he's a great receiver. He can put up outstanding numbers. I think he's a leader on that team, but, some of his decision-making is not that good. So if I could tell him anything is that it's a bonding thing, OTAs, you need to be there. And I think I heard also he was working out with Johnny Manziel or something like that. But I just feel like you need to be a part of that and be around your team. I know Shannon, he doesn't believe in OTAs.
Yeah, I don't understand that about Shannon Sharpe because I have so much respect for the Hall of Fame career he built, yet he says his coaches just gave him a pass from OTA.
Yeah. Hey, my thing, I probably could have had gotten a pass, but I didn't want it. I wanted to be around my teammates, to build that chemistry, to be that leader. And even doing training camp, Skip, here's the deal. Training camp for me, it was everything. I didn't want to miss a day. I always wanted to be a part of the team, be that leader, to go out there and set the example because I knew if I set the example, my other teammates, they watching and they're going to follow, and that's how you win Super Bowls. And
has Odell been at all receptive to any advice you might have given him?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I think out of respect, what I was able to accomplish throughout my career, the numbers I was able to put up and play the game for over 20 years, and I'm still healthy and I still enjoy the game of football, and I think it's very exciting.
How close are you to your playing weight?
Oh, I'm right now, I'm 190.
And you played at what?
I played at 205.
Wow, unbelievable. So, Jerry, quick last thought. How far can this Raiders team go next year?
I think with Carr, you bring in Marshawn Lynch. You have to have a legitimate backup quarterback. You see what happened with the Raiders last year. But I think this team is ready to go. And, coming out of the West, they should be able to secure the West.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on Channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. For Skip and Shannon, I'm Joy. That's it for us. We'll be back Monday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on FS1. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports, one of one.